Welcome to the Movie Overload podcast, where we will be covering 100 films through the history of cinema, from A Trip to the Moon to Parasite and everything in between, except for Woody Allen.
Fuck Woody Allen.
Amen.
Boo.
That guy.
It's been a minute, but I did it.
You did it.
I did it.
It's been a while since we recorded. Probably around a week.
It's been about a week.
It's been about a week because
Definitely.
we're really on top of things.
Yeah, it's just been a busy week. It feels
yeah.
like it's been,
Oof,
a couple years.
Yeah. There's so much has happened in that time. Really,
That's
Indeed.
true.
we're different people now.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
At
Mhm.
least a week older. And
I
that's
am.
significant.
At least one.
You're right. I don't know how I feel about that.
I have to fight the urge not to use the little sound bites that we
I know.
have now.
I think you
on our
should
new
just do
interface.
it.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh man.
We've done it.
See, like even when we did the intro and I was like boo, I was like, oh man, I wish there was a little sound pad thing for people going boo. Maybe we can get one.
I mean, we can. I don't know. I feel like the entire concept of doing something like that is just so cheesy and
It really
ridiculous.
is.
I kind of hate it, but
It
that also
is.
makes me like it.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's funny.
Can I just say, oh, sorry,
Go, yeah. Say
you're allowed to say
say
that.
the
how
truth.
nice it is to hear Hunter in my headphones.
Hooray!
Oh my gosh, it is crazy because normally we can't at all.
The point of all this conversation is that we got a new piece of gear to help us record better, and it's really nice.
It's really saving our butts here. It's been very challenging to try to edit these podcasts together when we have different interfaces, which is not something I would have thought about before, but it just means everything is slightly out of sync, even if you sync it up perfectly.
Yep.
Over the course of an hour, things will get slightly out of sync again, and then you have to
Really?
edit them. Yeah. It's
I did not know
awful.
that.
It's
I
weird.
stay out of editing.
Mhm.
Like your
Very
track
much
and my
so.
track, always in sync.
Right.
Hunter's track,
Nice.
in sync for a bit, and then eventually not in sync, and then there's a weird echo.
That's really weird.
Uh-huh. So it's really great having us all record on the same thing so that doesn't happen.
We've
We went
leveled
from,
up.
Yeah,
We
2
have.
interfaces across 2 different computers to one tiny little handheld device. Hooray!
It was so bad.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Anyway,
Anyway.
that's for
I'm
us,
proud.
not for you.
We've made it.
Anyway, what's this?
That
what's
was
this
very
podcast
exciting. That was a
about?
good ramble.
We
What's this about
we aren't
again?
covering a movie today.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
We're covering a masterpiece.
Oh, nice. I like that.
I'm in a weird mood. It's been a little busy.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
Mhm.
We are covering Casablanca.
Never heard of it.
Wait.
I haven't either.
What are you talking about?
JK.
I was gonna say it was a classic, and then I realized, wait, I don't actually know what this is. What are we talking? What?
It's a mystery.
I
Come-
forgot to watch it. I guess.
Oh, Reese.
you
Oh, wait,
know,
I'm
it's-
Hannah.
Oh wait,
Oh, yeah.
you are?
Yeah, who are you?
Because I guess I'm Reese.
I guess.
Yes, I'm also Hunter still. potentially.
Man in the
No one has
corner.
told me otherwise.
That should be like one of the T-shirts we do. It's like, I guess I'm also Hunter potentially. I don't know. No
It's
one's
like-
told me otherwise.
It's like a name tag shirt, and it just says, "Hello, I guess my name is still blank."
Right.
Blank.
No
I
one's
guess
told
my
me
name is-
otherwise.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I've definitely been told my name is otherwise. People always get my name wrong. So
Rice? Is it rice?
Rice.
hit rice a lot. Yeah, that one sucks.
Boo.
Ugh.
Yikes.
Anyway,
Rice, more like yikes.
Amen to that, brother.
I hate.
Anyway,
I feel such hatred.
You
Anyway.
just hate.
what is
Anyway.
your Casablanca movie?
I have an abstract. It's a little abstract. Okay, I need to quit.
Sounds
Anyway, Casablanca is a 1942 American wartime romantic drama directed by Michael Curtiz. It ends with a Z.
That's so cool.
I'm pretty sure it's Curtiz.
I think I've heard people say it Curtiz.
Oh,
Oh,
Curtiz.
makes
that would
sense.
make more sense because I
Maybe.
was definitely doubting myself.
Hungarian.
Potentially.
Yeah.
And starring Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, and Paul Henreid. Henreid? I'm the worst. Casablanca went on to win the Academy Award for Best Picture, while Curtiz was selected as Best Director, and the Epsteins and Coach were honored for writing the Best Adapted Screenplay. Its ever-glowing reputation has carried the film through time to the point that its lead characters, memorable lines, and pervasive theme song have all become iconic, and it consistently ranks near the top of lists of one of the greatest films in history.
It really does. It it so aggressively belongs on this list. It's like
does.
it's like the list was made for this movie.
I know. I watched it and I was like, I was a fake fan before. I was like, yeah, I love old movies, blah, blah, blah. How have I not watched this before?
You hadn't seen it
I
before?
had never seen it before.
Whoa.
It's been on my list forever and I just never made time for it.
That's
and I
cray-cray.
regret that.
This is
Yeah.
like a weird one where you and I have seen it and Hannah has not seen it.
I'm a
was
fake
whack.
fan.
This is weird.
All my Audrey Hepburn
And-
movies are meaningless.
Also, just so you know, it's still really good the second time.
I
I
would
kind of
really
liked
watch
it
it
more.
again.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Yeah.
I should
And I guess
watch it
that's
again.
normal, but just wanted to also say that like it's great.
Yeah. Because I mean, like some movies are like an experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the second time you're like, wow, it's still really good, but that experience is like kind of diminished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is not really an experience kind of a film. It's just like you watch it the first time, you're like, that was good. Second time you watch it, you're like, oh, wait, what?
It's still good.
Well, it's like the same, but like
Still
I have
solid.
more appreciation for film now than I did
Mm.
last time I watched it. So
Mhm.
it just,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things I like that the more into movies I've gotten, like those movies I'm now aware that they're, less and less amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Watching a lot of these movies and then coming back to things that I used to really like, being like, oh, it just kind of took all of these things from all of these other stuff. Like it's not the revolutionary thing it was in my brain.
Right.
But this I feel like kind of goes up in your estimation with the more movies you watch. It just still holds up.
Yeah.
And it's also weird that it has like basically the same cast as the previous movie we've covered.
I was going to say, I did enjoy seeing familiar faces.
This is true.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
I'm gonna be on the lookout for some other boys now
Some boys.
Yeah.
because
Gotta get that Sydney Greenstreet action.
I actually would like actively seek out more Sydney Greenstreet performances because I love that man.
It's pretty
But
fun.
Also, Claude Rains apparently. I will go after this man.
Oh, was that the guy that
Okay.
looks like Reese Darby?
He was from yeah.
Yeah. I love that guy.
He was
Also,
very good.
Humphrey Bogart may just replace Ryan Gosling.
Oh.
Oh.
Look at that man.
Hmm.
Humphrey.
Even with his head
Mm.
being like twice the size of Ryan Gosling. Like is that
Yes.
a good thing?
And his short stature. I just can't get enough
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
I just,
Oh yeah, don't get me started.
Humphrey. Yeah. Ugh.
Humphrey.
I digress.
This whole podcast is a digression. It doesn't.
That's true.
Indeed.
I apologize in advance for my tired rants. But I do have a plot summary for you all.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, I got
It's
distracted.
concise. Filmed and set during World War II, it focuses on an American expatriate, Rick Blaine, who must choose between his love for an old flame and helping her and her husband, a Czech resistance leader, escape from the city of Casablanca to continue his fight against the Germans. The screenplay is based on Everybody Comes to Rick's, an unproduced stage play by Marie Burnett and Joan Allison.
Oh, I did not know that.
There's a lot of information I found actually about the play and that whole process,
Hmm.
which I thought was super interesting.
Has it been produced now? Is it still?
I don't
Never
think
been played?
so. I don't think anyone ever picked it up.
Hmm.
Wait, I wrote that down. Somewhere.
Beyond the sea.
Yes. No, essentially this lady was reading it like on a train in New York. She was reading the play and she contacted the studio and was like, buy the rights, like the film rights to this right now, and talk them into it. I think even though they thought she was crazy, but I mean, it worked out a little
They kind of
bit.
got a good movie out of it.
A little bit. I think it was a good move.
Was good movie. He good
Oh.
movie.
He good movie. Big monkey.
Hmm.
I'm so happy that that's out in the world,
Yep.
Me too.
It's real now.
even though I don't know that anybody cares.
I don't know. I haven't checked our listen times.
It's we're doing all right. I think it says we got like 19 monthly listeners or something.
We have an estimated
moment.
audience as of right now of 15,
Oh,
which is up from
it
what
up?
I had seen before.
oh.
It had
Hello,
dropped.
adoring fans.
Yes. Hello. We appreciate you.
I mean, heck, that's 15 people. That's still kind of crazy.
I will take it. I personally am proud of us.
Yeah, I think we're doing all right, all things considered.
I agree. We're going to be famous one day.
Yeah, it's just I
You
mean,
sons
just
of
wait
bitches.
when this one comes out. This is our titular episode. This is gonna
Casablanca.
explode. You know, this is it in a way. When you really think about it,
This
Maybe.
is our peak.
we've peaked right, and that's so sad. Like it's only downhill from here.
It's fair, but I don't think you can top this.
Yeah, but look,
Mm.
I don't know. I'm excited for the rest of the movies.
I'm not. I think I want to. I think you guys
I
should
quit.
carry on without me.
Just
Actually,
like, no, we're done.
we finally got the
Uh,
interface. We're finally, doing it.
What?
I'm done.
What's the point in talking about
I'm
movies
out.
if they're not Casablanca?
Exactly.
Big mood.
It is
Sorry.
really, really delightful.
Sorry, I feel like Hannah keeps trying to lead into the abstract.
She really does, and I'm
I
just
already
trying to
said the
derail
You
it.
said the
abstract in the
abstract.
plot summary.
And
I
the summary.
ignored
Just trying to
you,
go into like the main
Rude.
report.
I'm sorry. I
Rude.
do remember you said it. I was remembering you said it as I was speaking that out loud.
It's
I was just
okay.
hung up on the idea of interrupting you, I guess.
You really
How-
like that.
How dare you?
Yeah. As a
Anyway.
man,
As a man.
I mean,
you're so into it.
It's all these old movies encouraging him in the
Curses.
wrong ways.
Yeah.
darn
I
it.
cannot handle
He
it.
Sorry.
he saw that bit where she was like, you have to make the decision for all of us, and he was like, I will. And then Hunter was like,
I
yeah,
decided,
men
say
make
it
the
again.
decisions.
Yeah.
Men
I
do the
believe
talking.
This.
Yeah.
Woot.
Sorry.
No, it's
I
okay
don't know. I
because
was distracting myself.
I was actually not as great at being organized, so I was just looking for the note about the play because I wanted to remember
Oh.
exactly what it was before I shared.
Gotcha.
It was the story editor, Irene Diamond, who discovered the script in 1941 on a trip through New York, and she convinced Hal Wallace to buy the rights in January 1942 for $20,000, which was the most anyone in Hollywood had ever paid for an unproduced play.
Interesting. Is it
So
still
she really liked it.
Such a specific circumstance.
I'm not
an unproduced
positive.
play?
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
people have probably paid more, but I'm not sure if it's like more because of inflation or more because of
Right.
people want more money. I don't know. That's a lot of money though for 1940s for a play. Like
Yeah.
they just wrote the script and got that much money for it. So
Did they offer like that much like right out the gate, or were they like, no, you need to give us the most money anybody's ever given anybody? You know what I mean?
don't
Like,
know.
how does
I
it get
should've
up
looked
to
that
that
up.
cost? Yeah.
I don't know. I know that she had to fight for it a little bit. Like
Okay.
I think she really convinced the studio. Like I think she just had a vision for this as a film and was like, no, this will be great. Just do it. And they were like, I don't know. It's an unproduced play.
And she was like,
It worked
"Trust
out.
me, you'll have the best movie on your
Yeah,
hand."
and best Academy Award for best
Boy.
film. Holy cow! The play's cast consisted of 16 speaking roles and several extras. The film script enlarged it to 22 speaking roles and hundreds of extras.
Oh, that makes sense.
They upped it a little bit. And it was also called, as I said before, what was it called? Everybody Comes to Rick's, obviously referencing the nightclub. They renamed it to Casablanca, apparently in imitation of the 1938 hit Algiers.
I do not know it.
Don't really know how to pronounce words. I could be completely wrong. It's
Could be.
Algiers.
Oh, okay.
So they liked the one word.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It
That
was
makes
it was trendy.
And it
They were trying to be hip.
does make it continue to have some sort of, I mean, if it was called Everybody Comes to Rick's,
Right.
I don't know that people would remember it the same way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, have you seen Everybody Comes to Rick's?
It's too
Like,
long.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Even
good.
for a play name, I like
It's a bit
Casablanca
much.
better.
Yeah.
It's just to the
Yeah.
point.
And you totally can like see the play structure to the movie. Like when I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally see this
I
being
do
a play.
too.
Because like so much of the action and the tension, etc., is kind of in a weird way off screen. Like you're thrown into this world and you spend most of your time in the bar.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
all stuff
much.
that like I could very easily see you just doing on a stage and not having to like
yeah,
show the plane take off or whatever. Just like
that's true.
then they exit stage left, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels pretty. I don't know how close it is, I guess, to the play adaptation,
I
but
think it's pretty close. I know they tweaked a few things here and there, but it's like they didn't really add a bunch of excess stuff to it because the film was shot entirely at the Warner Bros. Studio,
Okay.
with the exception of the sequence at the airport in LA.
Hmm.
But that was it. Like, they just left it all very simplistic.
So
Like,
they
you're
shot
right.
that at an actual airport.
I
That
know.
wasn't a set.
That's
Well,
so cool.
There's a couple of tricks, actually. Like,
Okay.
the final scene with the plane in the background.
Oh yeah, that was so.
I tried to find all of the things. Wait for it.
I'm still waiting.
I'm sorry.
I'm so bored. Oh.
I did, in fact, find the note.
Okay.
Just put it down in my fun facts and wasn't prepared to jump into those yet. But since it came up, the background of the final scene, which shows the Lockheed Model 12 Electra Junior airplane with personnel walking around it, was staged using little person extras.
Oh.
That's a quote. That was not me. And a proportionate cardboard plane. Fog was used to mask the model's unconvincing appearance. Nevertheless, the Disney's Hollywood Studios theme park in Orlando, Florida, purchased a Lockheed 12A for its Great Movie Ride attraction and initially claimed that it was the actual plane used in Casablanca.
That's hilarious.
They said it was?
Yeah. They're like
Dang.
using this freaking cardboard cutout.
Jeez.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, oh my God.
I feel like I went. So I did go on the Great Movie Ride back, but when it existed. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys have been there since, but
Uh-uh.
it got taken down.
Really?
Yeah, so it was like a model of like Man's Chinese Theater, and then you go through and it's like all this cool stuff. Anyway, they replaced it with like those like newer Mickey cartoons that they do, the like
No.
2D animated ones that get kind of
Yeah.
spoopy. That's what they made the ride.
Spoopy.
So it's still probably still cool, but like Great Movie Ride was awesome. Anyway,
Yeah, that sounds so fun.
but that's disappointing that it wasn't the actual plane.
Yeah.
How dare they?
But they did have a big budget, though. So I don't know why they stuck with their cardboard cutout
Yeah,
and their simplistic set.
funny.
That's
it is
fine.
weird.
The initial filming date was selected for April 1942, but delays that I will get into led to production starting in late May. Filming was completed August 3rd at a cost of $1,039,000, which was $75,000 over budget. And this was all above average for the time. Unusually, the film was shot in sequence mainly because only the first half of the script was ready when filming began.
Okay, I did know something about that. I remembered them like shooting, like that's pretty much the only thing I knew about this
Yeah.
movie outside of like just what's in it is like they were shooting before they had finished it.
So why that is because the first writers that they assigned to the script were the twins, Julius and Philip Epstein, who, against the wishes of Warner Bros., like they fought them really hard on this. They left at Frank Capra's request early in 1942 to work on Why We Fight series in Washington, D.C. They kind of just picked up and left because they were like, sorry,
Dang.
and flew out. And while they were gone, Warner Bros. Was like, okay, and handed it over to Howard Koch,
Gotcha.
Koch, I don't know.
Very cool.
He was assigned, he produced 30 to 40 pages. Then the Epstein brothers finished, came back, and retook it over.
Poor Howard.
The heck, guys.
Exactly. So this was all fairly interesting. They were reassigned to Casablanca, and contrary to what Koch claimed in two published books, his work was not used.
Oh.
He claimed that it was not. The Epstein brothers and Koch never worked in the same room at the same time during the writing of the script. In the final budget for the film, the Epsteins were paid $30,416, and Koch earned $4,200.
Dang.
So he was gypped.
Yeah.
But, that's
But
why
also,
they pushed it
was
off.
anything that he did good? Like if we didn't see any of it, you know.
I don't know, because also listed in everything I researched, it said the Epstein brothers and Koch were honored for
Right.
best adapted screenplay.
He does have writing credit.
Yeah, totally. But then it's saying, contrary to what he claims in his books, none of his work was actually used. So I wasn't quite sure because I kept seeing conflicting.
Maybe if you just pay someone for their work, you kind of want to credit them, even if it didn't
Yeah.
actually work out.
Yeah.
I feel like it
makes sense.
probably gave them a jump start. Like they just
Yeah.
took what he started with and then maybe went from there
I
and
just know I
reworked it.
Well, in that case, it's still
Mhm.
weird though, because like you would think that there would be writing credit for the people that wrote the actual original play,
Yeah,
but
true.
but like despite the fact that they wrote the story, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They aren't getting any kind of credit at
it's
the
so
Oscars
weird.
or whatever. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't understand. And like that's the thing of best adapted screenplay as a category or whatever is weird to me because it's like John Huston in Maltese Falcon was people really liked his adaptation because it was so accurate to the book. Which is then at that point it's like, but like, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't adapted anything, so I guess I can't really speak to it. But it's also
Fair.
like it seems a little weird that like you essentially take somebody else's work and then like edit it, kind of. You just
And
write
then
it on a
you
new
get all
sheet
the
of paper
credit.
and call it your own, and then you get the credit for what they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey man, can I copy your homework?
right. That's what it
Thanks,
is,
dude.
though.
I mean, they're crediting it as an adaptation, so it's
Right.
like they're not saying it's their original work. But
Mm.
yeah, there's
yeah,
a lot
but
of
it's like
I don't know.
if I just like did a tracing, of like the Mona Lisa
I
or
was about to say the
something. I
Mona
don't know.
Lisa. Yeah.
If I just like traced it on, whatever, people would
Mhm.
be like, "Wow, that looks so much like the Mona Lisa. You did a terrific job."
Best adaptation goes to Reese.
Right? I'm like, this isn't a work of art. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. At least I don't.
I know in like the original play, they had it where Ilsa didn't even meet. Is it Victor Laszlo? I kept reading his
Yeah.
name as Laszlo.
Mhm.
She didn't even meet him until after everything with Rick.
Oh, that drastically changes it.
Oh.
Yeah. So for
Jeez.
the film, they did make some plot
Those are
changes like
significant
that.
changes that
Yeah.
make it way more impactful.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I know that they did get in there and like really rework it.
That's fair.
And then I think I read something too that Coach said that he thought his writing like caused too much conflict with what the director wanted. Like him and Curtiz were on different pages about it all. But he's like, I don't know. I think then my work somehow meshed with the Epstein brothers' work, and it just all. I brought perfect balance to like the script or something.
This guy
I know, and I'm like, I don't think they used it, dude.
being that one person on the group that's like, no, but like me though, like let's talk about what I did.
That's totally what it was, but I do feel bad for him because they were like, oh, they're gone. Here, you can do it. JK, they're back. You guys can have it back.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, my glorious moment of fame.
Yeah.
It did not work out.
Technically, having writing credit on one of the best movies ever made is a bragging point, I guess. But
This is true. Yeah, he's fine. He'll get over it. He's probably dead.
he's probably dead.
He
Sorry.
got over it.
He's over it now.
Oh,
Anyway,
Oh man.
the cast is notably international. Only
Nice.
3 of the credited actors were born in the U.S. Bogart, Dooley Wilson, and Joy Page. Everyone else was foreign.
what?
I know. Ingrid Bergman is very Swedish.
She's so cool.
She is the coolest, actually. I like her. They called this role for her. They said it was her most famous and enduring role.
I mean, I guess that's probably true.
Yeah.
She's in a lot of stuff though. Like she's a
Yeah.
big deal.
Mhm.
They said, yeah, other things before had like been really well received, but this just, I don't know, got all the attention for her, which I think was deserved.
Good on her.
Yeah, people were from all over the place too. It was like Russian, German, Austrian, Swedish. Yeah, they had people from all over the place.
From all over the Europe.
Yeah. So Bulgarian, Dutch, Moroccan, English, all the things.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was kind of
Yeah.
neat. A
That
big
is fun.
mesh of people.
I like it.
We dig
Makes
that.
sense.
I'm totally ranting. Just stop me if you need to go on a
No.
bunny trail.
You are doing what you're supposed to.
We usually go on more bunny trails, so I'm feeling a
We're on a
little
good roll.
suspicious.
Well, it's just that there's so little that's like fucked about this movie.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, while we're at it, I do want to drop in just a little fuck Woody Allen.
Thank you.
Um,
And Ryan Gosling does fuck.
it's true.
I really can't break my loyalty to him. Sorry, Humphrey.
Hmm.
I thought about it.
Fuck off, Humphrey. Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling fucks.
Ryan Gosling really does. I'm loyal to him till the day I die.
Sorry, yeah, I just felt like we didn't have quite enough F-bombs in there. So I just had to
I
fill it
agree.
up a little bit.
I tried to say sons of bitches earlier, but I think it got drowned out.
No,
And I just
sorry.
wanted to make sure that was heard.
Yeah, sons of
Yeah.
bitches. Who are the sons of bitches?
I don't even remember anymore.
Dang. But they know who they are.
They absolutely do.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe I already forgot. I'll listen back and be like, oh, that's when I said it. I whispered it in the background. Yeah,
Delightful.
all good things.
Mm-hmm.
Although Casablanca was an A-list film with established stars and first-rate writers, no one expected it to be awesome. Actually, this is
Quote,
true.
awesome, unquote.
It said no one involved with its production expected it to be anything other than one of the hundreds of ordinary pictures produced by Hollywood that year.
Dang.
They also rushed it like heck. They rushed it into release to take advantage of the publicity from the Allied invasion of North Africa a few weeks earlier.
Oh.
So it had its world premiere on November 26, 1942 in New York City. It wasn't released nationally in the U.S. until late January 1943.
Dang. That's like there being some like masterpiece drama about The Wall that like comes out like
Yeah.
right in 2016, like after that's crazy.
Right after, it was pretty nuts. So I think they picked up the pace because that's 2 months earlier than their national release, but I think it probably would have been released even later, but they finished it enough to release it early, so then they just sped up the national release too.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it was well received, but it definitely gained, like, its reputation kind of just gradually improved over time. Like, it kind of just kept picking up speed. Everyone, like, they liked it, but they said it was just kind of a solid success as it came out. And then just as years went on, it just stayed popular. Like, people just still loved it.
Yeah. It's kind of flawless, you know?
Yeah, I don't really know why anyone would have an issue with it.
And I mean, it has, every iconic line ever. It's just
Loved the writing.
every single line of that movie.
Okay, I'll sprinkle in fun facts. Do you want to hear
Yeah.
something cute?
Mm-hmm.
Bogart's line, "Here's looking at you, kid," is said 4 times in the film. It was not in the screenplays. It was not written in the draft screenplays, that is, but has been attributed to a comment he made to Bergman as he taught her poker between takes. So I guess it was something he would just say to her, and they liked it, so they wrote
They were
it
just
in.
like,
Wow.
you should say that in the movie.
Isn't that cute?
That's funny.
So it's just so
Humphrey.
him. I love it.
Wow.
He's looking at you, kid.
It's so good.
I love it. It just makes me feel warm inside.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I want that on my wall so I can hear
It's
it in his
delightful.
voice to myself every day.
I just want an audio recording of that hanging on my wall
I agree.
that just automatically plays when I look at it.
Maybe I'll change my alarm sound to that.
Whoa.
Just over and over.
He's looking at you, kid.
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 That'd be funny.
Wake up and live your life.
There's got to be a song out there that uses like a sample of that in there.
Oh, I would die for that.
Probably.
Wow, I really
That
want to
must
Google that.
exist. Like I feel like that would be really hard to find specifically, but I feel like it has to be real.
I mean, I bet if you just search Spotify for "Here's Looking at You, Kid," you'd find something.
It's true.
I am totally not doing that right now while you guys
I'm
continue.
also totally not
I just
Googling
want
it.
I
as
just
we
want like
speak.
a lo-fi like chill beat song, and it's just every once in a while you just hear like, "Here's looking at you, kid."
Oh,
And
that would
I'm
kill
like,
me.
Oh my gosh, there
Oh.
are like so many songs called "Here's Looking at You, Kid."
I for sure
Yeah, that
definitely
makes
found a ton
sense.
as well.
Blondie has a song called "Here's Looking at You,
Heck.
Kid."
Wow, I'm so excited to listen to these later.
Henry Mancini has a song called "Here's Looking at You, Kid." Now we're copyright claimed. Cool.
"Hooray!"
Yay! We love that.
Please support our Patreon. Oh, we don't make any money off of this at all.
Support
Which is
our
okay.
Wicked
You know,
Patreon.
we We're okay. We do things
Yeah.
creatively for fun.
We do.
But also, if you wanted
But
to
also,
leave us,
we
like,
invested a decent amount of money
We
in this.
did.
I'm not going to lie.
and if you wanted to maybe give us because you like us and you want to hear more things, we wouldn't say no to you.
We wouldn't.
We've in fact made internet places where we specifically do not say no to you,
Exactly.
and that's all I have to say.
And on top of that, we give you incentive
This is
to.
true.
Yeah.
This is very true.
We're doing, let's see, what is it? We got the ASMR one going.
Mm-hmm.
That one's fun. We're also wanting to do, once anybody's on that tier, becomes more worth it, the deep dive episodes. We are, currently really going hard into that Charlie Chaplin filmography to get a real in-depth knowledge of the boy, to be able to talk about him.
Because Charlie Chaplin fucks.
Yeah. Well, he really did. A lot of people. Some of those people were a lot younger than him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
His wife was
Quite
like
literal.
18 when he married her, and he was like 50.
Jeez.
What the heck?
Yeah. But they apparently had a really great relationship and stayed married for the rest of their lives. And
Interesting.
Right.
but
Hey, as
that's
long as it works out.
yeah,
I
it
guess.
does sound like it worked out. Like, it didn't sound like it was creepy, except the age gap is creepy, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know.
Like in this
Spoopy.
movie.
Like in this, yeah, that was kind of weird when she was like, "Oh, I was getting braces on," and he was
Yeah.
like, "I was looking for a job." I was like, "Oh, okay."
There were interesting things about the code in this movie. I guess the play used quite a bit of language. I know. And also just had explicit references about sex. I know, Rick and Ilsa's sexual history.
Interesting.
Or the guy selling visas for sex.
Oh,
Who was that?
I'm kind of
Who
glad
wrote
that
that
wasn't in
down?
this movie. That would make me sad.
Yeah, they took it out because of
Too
the code.
dark,
They,
too
they
real.
couldn't
It's a
leave
little
lot of
too
it in.
real. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they ended up just kind of implying different things, which I
Yeah.
think was a little more tasteful anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't think that censoring stuff is a great practice in general, but I do feel
Yeah.
like for this movie, I think it operates at the level that it should. It doesn't need to be so painfully real.
yeah, it
You know.
wasn't. I feel like it would have taken some of the charm away. I guess
Right.
if it was more
Which
rough.
does kind of bring up the question. I was kind of thinking about that while I was watching it this time around. Does it kind of romanticize a lot of World War II garbage?
Mm,
Yes, and that is the point.
But
true.
is that? But
That is kind of literally the point.
I mean, yeah.
To some extent, at least for some of it.
I don't understand. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I mean,
Obviously having a romance in the midst of turmoil is
Right.
obviously effective or whatever. But it's different than kind of making what's going on in Casablanca at that time kind of romantic in and of itself. You know what I mean?
yeah, kind of putting a
That's
interesting
actually
romantic story in that place that was actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
interesting because of how they decided to do the ending. I think they
Mm.
kind of has to do with that question.
Hmm.
If I can ramble.
Mhm.
Sure.
Always.
So it says, this is the beginning of the note, and I will get there. The possibility was discussed of Laszlo being killed in Casablanca, allowing Rick and Ilsa to leave together. But as Casey Robinson wrote to Wallace before filming began, the ending of the film set up for a swell twist when Rick sends her away on the plane with Laszlo. For now, in doing so, he is not just solving a love triangle, he is forcing the girl to live up to the idealism of her nature, forcing her to carry on with the work that in these days is far more important than the love of two little people. So I think they wanted to highlight that self-sacrifice of yes, it's romanticized and there's love amidst all the war, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, that's what wins, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, he basically says that.
Yeah.
Too.
Spoiler
He's
alert. Sorry.
Yeah. from your movie from 1942, which you probably already maybe know the ending of, even if you haven't seen it. But yeah, he's like something about the problems of three little people don't amount to a hill of beans or something.
Right, like
I love that.
It's
you
just-
have
it's
to
just
be
in the movie.
realistic at the end of the day, which I did appreciate. So it says it was certainly impossible for Ilsa to leave Laszlo for Rick, as the motion picture production code forbade showing a woman leaving her husband for another man.
Wait, really?
So that wasn't even an
That's
option.
wild.
The concern was not whether Ilsa would leave with Laszlo, but how this outcome would be engineered. The problem was solved when the Epstein brothers were driving down Sunset Boulevard and stopped for the light at Beverly Glen. At that instant, the identical twins turned to each other and simultaneously cried out, "Round up the usual suspects." By the time they had driven past Fairfax and through the
Okay.
Warner Bros. Studios portals at Burbank, in the words of Julius Epstein, the idea for the farewell scene between a tearful Bergman and a suddenly noble Bogart had been formed, and all the problems of the ending had been solved.
It works.
So the code was there.
Interesting.
I don't know. I think that's so interesting. I know,
That's
yeah,
funny.
they kept talking about killing off Laszlo so that they could end up together, but
Right.
then they didn't want it to win over everything going on with the war,
Mm.
and they couldn't have her leave him. So
That makes sense.
there
I
they were.
guess.
All right.
See, it's a weird thing when, like, this is the only example of a movie I can think of where I feel like the code, while still kind of fucked,
yeah,
ended up kind of steering this movie towards being something that's, like, really iconic and cool.
I know.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, oh, that's stupid. But I was
Right.
like, oh, I wouldn't have liked it if she left him for.
It would have felt
Rick.
less meaningful.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was just more impactful this way.
Right.
Which is like, I don't know. It's weird though, because like all of the other things that are like kind of defying code or whatever,
Yeah.
we tend to like, or the things that are like, oh, this is what they were going to do before the code came in. Usually it's like, oh, dang it,
I
Yeah.
know.
you know,
Right.
the Hays Code. Why
It's
you
very
do this to me?
interesting.
Like what they did with the Maltese Falcon. Like they
Mhm.
had to kind of strip out a lot of the drinking and all that, and that made it worse,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's still a fantastic movie.
Right.
Anyway,
Speaking of Maltese Falcon,
what?
oh ho ho.
There are connections between Maltese Falcon and Casablanca.
Nice little segue. Thank you for that. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the cinematography because I was trying to read about the director, and it sounds like he was just kind of stuck with the basic bare minimum, whatever. Like they're like, yep, you handed him a story, and he just gave you the visuals. He's like, yep, here it is. Like he did nothing crazy. They said he was like the best example of the exception of the Artura theory or something. I think it was
Sure,
called.
yeah.
Yeah, that. Just essentially saying he kept it simple, I think, which I think worked. There just wasn't a lot about him since he didn't really do anything grand and revolutionary. But the cinematographer was talked about quite a bit. So it was Arthur Edison, a veteran who had previously shot The Maltese Falcon and Frankenstein. Particular attention was paid to photographing Bergman. So he kind of directed a lot of this. She was shot mainly from her preferred left side, often with a softening gauze filter and with catchlights to make her eyes sparkle. So he designed, I think, a lot of that, and the whole effect was designed to make her face seemed ineffably sad and tender and nostalgic. He also used bars of shadow across the characters and in the background variously imply imprisonment, the crucifix, the symbol of the Free French forces, and the emotional turmoil. And then he liked the dark film noir and expressionist lighting, so they used that in several scenes, particularly towards the end of the picture.
And he won.
And he won.
It was so good. Like it definitely did look very similar to what the Maltese Falcon did.
Yeah,
but-
I can tell. After I read that, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. But
So-
I did comment on the way that they specifically light Ingrid, because it was like, oh, yeah, they're very specifically doing a look
Yeah,
with all of these shots.
which totally made her stand out.
Mhm.
And which is funny, too, because it said that the difference between her and Bogart's height caused a lot of problems. And
Oh, really?
she was 2 inches taller than him,
Whoa.
which isn't a lot, but when it's like the leading lady and guy.
I love it.
That's
So
really
she
funny.
told people later
Come
that
on.
Curtiz had Bogart stand on blocks and sit on a ton of cushions in all of their scenes together.
No, let him be a short king.
Yeah.
I know, but I
Let her
like
be a tall queen.
Yes,
I
exactly.
read that
Even more
and I
importantly.
went back and I rewatched some scenes and he totally is. Even when they sit down, he's totally up. And I'm like, he's on a little booster seat
Yep.
right now. Like, how did that hurt his confidence while filming? Was he okay?
Oh, that's so
Poor
funny.
fragile
I
masculinity.
know.
We
He's okay.
assume Humphrey
Maybe he's
Bogart had
okay.
problems with that. Maybe he's chill.
Maybe
Yeah.
he was. Maybe he was just like, yeah, I'm a shorty and I will sit on this booster seat.
Do what you gotta do for
It
the
is
image.
what it is.
It's funny.
I really liked Ingrid Bergman's performance.
She's
I mean,
great.
Humphrey Bogart stood out. I don't know that his character was like quite as intriguing to me as his character in The Maltese Falcon,
I
but like
agree.
still delightful. Like I still get the Bogart love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just so classic.
Hmm. He just is the 40s in
yes,
a weird way.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
this
a good way
movie
to
in
put
general
it.
just is the 40s.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
anything that we would think of that would be like, flashback to the 40s, call back to what it's all just imagery from this movie,
It's
really.
just Humphrey Bogart
Yeah.
and her sparkly eyes.
Hmm.
Indeed.
That worked.
And that plane.
And the freaking
Mhm.
plane.
Hmm. So nice.
The
So
music.
Oh,
Back
yeah.
when planes used to look cool.
Mr.
That's true, actually.
Yeah.
They're boring now.
Talk about Mr. Steiner.
Max the boy,
The music was
our
written
legend,
by Max Steiner, who wrote scores for King Kong and Gone with the Wind.
and A Star Is Born.
And A Star Is Born. Thank you.
Repeat.
He's
Winner.
done 4 movies that we've covered so
Mhm.
far.
That's insane.
He might. I am curious. I do want to do an episode at the end of our whole tour of the movies
Yeah.
where we go through like all the stats. You know what I mean? Like,
how many people did.
yeah, Max Steiner composed the most films on our list,
That's
or
cool.
Whatever, that kind of thing.
We can do it in a little award ceremony and
Yeah.
Kit Kats in their honor.
That would be so cool.
I'm so down.
Yeah,
Kind of just want more chocolate.
and then I want to do like a few episodes of like we each have an episode where we're just talking about our individual top 5s. So like there's like a Hannah's top 5
Mhm.
episode.
like
You
that.
know, like I do feel like we got to do some stuff at the end to like curate.
I
Mhm.
would.
And then I'd also want to do one more episode that's like if we were to revamp the 100 movies list, like if we were to edit it
Mm.
slightly.
change things.
Yeah, because there are a few
Cool.
things I would feel like maybe don't need to belong. Like, I don't know. I'm still questioning like the Wizard of Oz. being
I
on
also
here.
question The Wizard of Oz, but it was so much fun to research.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, like it was a really cool episode. I'm glad we did it. But also like I want to have the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari in there. Like I
Yeah.
realized with
Mm.
how many times it's been brought up and whatever. Like
Yeah.
that is a very important film that we did not stick on here for some reason. So I would want that on there. And also Godzilla's not on our list. So like, you know,
King Kong is.
Let's
Like
say
in
I have
comics.
one like big.
But, you
big
know,
something movie.
they're different.
He big lizard.
It's different.
Exactly.
It's different.
Depending
Hmm.
on the movie, I think sometimes she big lizard. Is that correct?
Mm.
Oh.
That is actually news to me. I don't know anything about Godzilla.
I'm shook.
I mean, I think Godzilla is a boy Godzilla for most of them, if not. But I thought sometimes there was a female Godzilla. Is that not
I
the
wouldn't
case?
be surprised. Maybe Godzilla's just a gender neutral deific being. I don't know if that's a word.
Yes.
Female Godzilla.
They big lizard.
Ooh.
Oh, wait.
They.
Oh,
lizard.
nope. I'm just totally wrong. They planned to do a female Godzilla. There was Goddessilla.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh.
Huh. Remember?
I'm not
remember,
sure.
Remember that terrible cut from that movie? Was it,
Terrible cut.
which one was that?
I'm confused.
I just wasn't that a thing? There was like a trailer for one of the more recent Godzilla movies, and like the trailer's cut in a way where they're like, "Oh my god," and then it cuts to another dude
Oh
who's
my
like,
God.
"Zilla," and I'm like, I
Huh.
died inside.
I don't remember
What
that.
is that?
So incredible.
I
That
know
makes me
I have
so
like a very
happy.
specific memory of that, and I'm like forgetting which movie that was from.
Was that the 2014 one?
I don't know.
A movie I maintain is good, but
Yeah.
nobody else is.
No, that's not true.
Tragic.
That's not true.
Boo.
Boo.
It is what it is.
Just because I didn't care that much for it doesn't mean I don't know.
I mean, I'm not like a massive fan. Like
Yeah.
Shin Godzilla is the most interesting
Right,
Godzilla movie
which I still
I've
need to
seen.
see. I haven't seen that yet.
Why are we talking about Godzilla
I
in
don't
our
know.
Casablanca episode? It's
We got
just that
distracted.
day.
Rabbit
It
trails.
just
Hooray.
is happening.
Were we
And it's
going
okay.
somewhere with that? Because I had a thing that I wanted to ask about
Why not go ahead?
if we weren't preoccupied.
The only thing else I was going to say about the music is that
Oh,
the
yeah.
song As Time Goes By
Oh, yeah.
by Herman Hupfeld had been part of the story from the original play. And Steiner really wanted to write his own composition to replace it, but Bergman had already cut her hair really short for her next role, which was Maria in For Whom the Bell Tolls, and
Interesting.
couldn't reshoot, so they kind of told Max Steiner to suck it up.
Dang.
I like, stick with the OG song, dude. It's fine.
And
he
that
was
song
like,
is a classic.
exactly.
Right.
And he was like, fine. Like, he wanted his song to be the song. But here we are. So, okay,
Intriguing.
ask away.
I don't know. I just was like thinking about the one thing that I remember reading about this movie and just its role as like sort of American propaganda for World War II, which is kind of what we mentioned earlier about it dealing with World War II things having been made and being seen while World War II was still happening. And just it being basically like about, not being isolationist
Yeah.
when there's worldwide
Yeah.
conflicts happening
Mhm.
and actually being like, hey, this matters and it is worthwhile to step in and deal with that.
Right.
Yeah, I love how Rick is like, I'm neutral.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
neutral.
he's kind of like that American stand-in being
Mhm.
like, we're not dealing with this.
Yeah.
And then eventually being like, okay, I'll help.
But I do
I
care.
will deal
Yeah,
with this because
I
this
will.
does affect me.
Right.
And I guess, and I don't remember where I read that, but just being like, it already, like we were already in the war by the time this came out. So it was more just kind of affirmation than like trying to sway any kind of opinion more. Like it was just like, we were already there. Like, and that was good.
Mhm.
That at least is the argument, I guess.
That is
Uh,
interesting. Yeah. It's just weird. Like, it does make sense. It didn't
Mhm.
strike me so much like that just because it had his involvement in the war
Mhm.
is just kind of under the guise of like specifically his own love triangle. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like,
yeah, there's like that personal side of it that's kind of all mixed up too.
Right.
and because the personal is
maybe
what
good.
affected me way more.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it read to me most as. But I do
Yeah.
think that reading is entirely 100% there and
Yeah,
like
I guess so.
kind of the point. I just
I liked their little flashbacks.
It's cool.
Gave me Roman holiday vibes.
Oh, I really need to watch that still. It's on our list, I
So
guess. We'll get to it.
excited. It's coming up.
Hmm. We're kind of close, aren't
That's, yeah, I think that's my next one.
we?
Right?
Is it really?
I thought so.
Dang.
I'm gonna look it up, but
'Cause what are we in 1942
Uh,
and isn't Roman holiday like 1953?
oh, maybe I'm.
Is it 53 or is it 50? I could be wrong. I don't know anything. Your next
Oh,
one
it's
is the Third Man,
And then the next
and then
one
Roman holiday.
is Roman holiday.
Excited to watch The Third Man.
That'll be cool. Next week is Children of Paradise, a long ass movie,
Oh.
191 minutes.
Oof! Why? Why do we do this to ourselves?
It's considered like the best French film in history. So
It
that's
looks
saying
pretty.
something.
The
Does look
cover
pretty.
of it is pretty.
Mhm.
I do like it, and it's got a Criterion edition, which is cool.
Mm-mm.
And then we get to on the topic of Capra. I get to cover Frank Capra.
Yes,
So-
that I just spoke about.
We should have waited a little bit longer, and then we could do It's a Wonderful Life around Christmas.
Gasp.
Oh, I mean, it'll come out close to Christmas.
It'll be close, yeah. It'll be like, I don't know, a month early. Few weeks early. Actually, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't remember the schedule enough.
I think, yeah,
Probably
I
is
think
December.
it comes out like
Maybe
first
like
or second
early
week of December.
Yeah, that's probably true. Never mind. I take it back. It's fine.
Mhm. I mean, that's when we're recording it in 2 weeks, and
Mhm.
it'll be Christmas ish
Yeah.
time in 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ha-ha. Oh,
We are totally not ahead at all.
Are we as ahead as we think we are?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
Yes.
which is not at all.
Indeed.
Gasp. Stress.
Understandable.
Panic.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Crisis.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Tragedy.
I really want to get to recording Seven Samurai
I'm
before my classes start up again.
excited. Ew. School.
I'm sure we
Probably
can do
won't.
that.
Well-
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. One can hope. Anyway,
Yeah.
there's really not that much to say. It's just another day.
That's actually true.
That's sorry. That's
you
Life
guys
from a
already took all
Song.
my fun facts.
Mm.
Like, that was pretty much it.
Is that
It was beautiful.
Nice.
I enjoyed
Thanks,
it.
Thanks,
Do we have
dudes.
any more
What do you
like
think?
deep thoughts? Like,
personal thoughts?
yeah. I mean, like, where do we
Um,
rank this? You know,
I gave it 5 stars.
pretty
on
high up.
Letterboxd.
I also gave it 5 stars.
I feel like it is objectively a 5. I give it 4.5 because I'm an idiot.
Well, the way that you do 5 stars
I
is
know.
different because you're like 5
Yeah.
star is like the 2 films ever that have like destroyed me. You know what I mean?
Right. Like it's a very small, like select group.
Yeah.
that,
And like
yeah, are
5-star
kinda-
films for you almost have to be a certain kind of movie.
Yeah. I
like,
have to
there
be
are
able to
kinds of-
rank it as like a personal favorite. Like it means something to me more
Yeah.
to be a 5 usually,
Hmm.
which doesn't usually happen.
And for a film to
Oh.
be a personal favorite of yours, it like fits a certain kind of film
Mm-hmm.
that this is not.
Yeah.
So
And-
it feels
and
like
honestly-
it's about as good as it could get for you.
Honestly, if I change on it, if my views change on it, I could see it being like a 5 and maybe some kind of a favorite because I was even kind of saying to you, I was like, I want this to be one of those movies that like I watch enough times that I kind of internalize it
Hmm.
and can just kind of draw from it naturally
Yeah.
because I think that would be fun.
It's yeah.
Um,
It's still. I mean, it really. It's great. It's one of
the
those
dialogue
movies.
is so good. Like holy cow.
It works so much
so
better
fun.
for me while I'm watching it.
Mm-hmm.
It is not one of those movies that like I'm like constantly thinking about.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like while I'm watching, I'm like, I can't imagine this being done
Mm-hmm.
better. Like this just is mind blowing. Even still, that puts it at like number 5 for me of all the ones we've covered so far. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still put it
Mhm.
behind like Citizen Kane and like Grand Illusion and The Great Dictator and The Passion of Joan of Arc. Like those ones
Mm.
just hit me more
Yeah,
and harder.
that's fair.
But Casablanca is a 5-star movie. It's fantastic. It's great.
Definitely one of my favorites, I think.
For sure.
It's delightful.
I really liked Hunter's Letterboxd review
Right.
I didn't
because
see
I
it.
felt that.
It's basically to the effect of what I was just talking about.
Like, it put into
Um,
words what I was feeling.
Mm.
Yeah. I can read it out loud if you
Please
if you
do.
want me to. I mean, there's just the bit about like satisfying writing, presented beautifully, can't fault it for being called perfect, and then I want this movie to be like partially ingrained in my brain so I can quote it, and people will think I'm witty, and then I'll be like, haha, yeah, I stole that from Casablanca, and then I'll feel awkward.
I just love that though, because if someone just quoted Casablanca all the time, I don't know why, but I would just like respect that human and want to be like them.
Mhm.
Be like, wow, they like really know their like high quality old movies.
Yeah.
It's not
I
like,
guess.
hey, hey, follow the yellow brick road.
Yeah, right.
They're
Man,
like,
I like how this
is the beginning
podcast
of a
has
beautiful
become like
friendship.
a Wizard of Oz hate
Wizard of
cast.
Oz hate podcast. Yeah.
I'm so bitter about everything they did to that
Yeah.
cast, and like,
Ugh.
it's not that great of a movie. So I'm just
Like-
generally disappointed.
I definitely have had a lot of people tell me post that episode, like, well, you know, there's some really like interesting like themes to it, and it's like it's like a metaphor, like it means something and whatever. And I'm
Mm.
like, okay, but
Is
that
it,
doesn't
though?
make it fun or enjoyable
It's
or
still boring as hell.
good movie. Like, if anything, that lends credit to like the source material,
Yeah.
right?
I
But does it
guess.
lend that much credit to the film itself? And it's fun as a play. Like, it's fun to be
Yeah.
in.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
And
like-
the book makes sense for a children's book, like kind of Alice in Wonderland vibes or whatever.
Mhm.
But the movie's just
But it's just like, okay,
boring.
yes, it exists. It is an adaptation of a thing, and it, put people in the hospital. Like, I
I
don't.
was gonna say, how many actors were hospitalized
It's
in
just-
the making of Wizard of Oz?
Yeah. Anyway, it's not the best thing we covered. I'm glad that we got over that bump of like the late 30s having movies that we all have seen before but aren't that great.
I agree.
Yep.
The 40s are definitely much better.
Hmm. Although I am still a big fan of King Kong because he big monkey,
That was-
and also Duck Soup
Could
is really
see Big
great.
Monkey.
Mhm.
Duck Soup was fun. But yeah.
We got a good spread of things. But I would, and obviously, Grand Illusion is a 30s movie like that. That hits, you know.
It's different.
But yeah, I would say that so far of all the decades we've covered, I think the 40s are probably like the most consistently good.
Indeed. They're good times.
Yeah.
Even though Fantasia was kind of boring.
That's true. It was boring.
It's
There was like nothing to say about Fantasia. Went
you
from
know.
Wizard of Oz to Fantasia, and I was like, what do I do with this? What am I even doing with my life?
Well, I mean, that's kind of how I felt with the Maltese Falcon. It was like, I mean, it's really good. I'm glad it's here. But like, I guess I'll just talk about John Huston and play some Gandalf clips for a while. Because like,
Yes.
you know.
Because, like, what else are we supposed to do?
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's fair.
Anyway,
It
Good
is what it
times.
is.
Casablanca, 5 stars, masterpiece, great time, standout for me. Definitely Ingrid Bergman. She just has a kind of charisma that I don't really know how to explain, but she just, I don't know. She makes sense.
Wins.
She just wins. Yeah, she's cool. And obviously, accent, fantastic. Brillante. I liked it a lot the first time I saw it, and the second time I was like, oh, this is really, really good.
I know,
And
now I
yes,
need to watch it again.
The way it was shot, for me, it does feel like it's a set,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but in a way that's more artful and less cheesy.
I agree.
You know, like it. I really love the way that he lights his sets, like very Maltese Falcon, where like you see the lettering of the window, like on the cast onto the floor, kinds of stuff. Just
Yeah.
everything is shadows,
Mm-hmm.
and it just
like that one bit where they like, there's like a camera pan from like the main room
Yeah.
across a wall into his like upper side room,
mm-hmm.
which like in the universe there's obviously totally like that is a separate room, but it just like it's all in shot. And then he like Rick kind of walks off frame, but you still see like his shadow silhouette projected onto the wall
as he
like,
opens the
very
safe.
specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back and it's like, thank you, I liked it.
Yeah. And I like the bit at the beginning of the movie where it's like there's that guard in like the tower in Morocco, and then it like
Oh yeah,
pans down and you see like it kind of changes into like an actual set and whatever,
Yeah.
but like it's pretty convincing.
Mm-hmm.
And that shot was like, oh yeah, that's Tatooine. That's like
Mhm.
Mos Eisley. George Lucas
Yeah.
totally used so much from this movie visually.
That's cool.
Obviously influential, and it made me very excited to get to the Star Wars report again, because we've covered so many things and I'm like, oh yeah, and then Star Wars did this, like George
And
Lucas
there we
was just
are.
like, how about I amalgamate everything that is great about film
And that's why he won.
and then reinvent film with that in a weird way.
BT Dubs.
BT Dubs.
The Empire Strikes Back is still playing in theaters. We should go.
I mean, it's not anymore. It was
That's
back in
probably true.
October,
Sorry, yeah.
When we weren't
We are time
doing-
traveling.
things.
Tragic.
We do these live. You son of a bitch.
but what?
Did you just insult the listener
Wow.
No.
and assume their gender?
Dang.
You daughter,
You are so fired.
non-binary child,
Sorry.
offspring of a bitch.
You offspring of a bitch.
Don't
Anyway,
question
sorry.
me.
Or bastard.
Anyway.
I'm stressed.
Oh. Both, I guess.
Of a
Anyway,
bitch
sorry.
bastard. You offspring of a bitch bastard.
Let's keep going. What else do we have to say? I am a Sydney Greenstreet stan and will make a Sydney Greenstreet fan cam.
Yeah, you should. That should be another T-shirt that we have. Is just that shot from the Maltese Falcon that like is described in that quote from the cinematographer or whatever as, pans up to Sydney Greenstreet's large stomach. You just have that shot, like on a T-shirt. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
I think so.
Yeah. Anyway, that would be great. Also, he's not that big. Like I keep saying
No,
that,
he's
but he's not. Gosh, guys, you're so mean. You
Gosh,
40s
guys.
jerks.
Yeah, people are mean,
Hmm.
but they're fine. I loved the clothing in this movie.
Mhm.
Some of the things they were wearing actually too weren't
Her freaking hat.
her freaking like her. Well, also she wasn't always like completely modest. Like it was the
Mhm.
40s, but she was very glamorous and
Mhm.
like kind of showy sometimes. And I was like, "Go off, queen! You look so good. I want to wear your clothes." It was just so pretty.
I
Mhm.
really, really like her
Indeed.
fashion.
Indeed.
And in
Ingrid.
classic fashion, there isn't too much interesting about the things that men wear because
It's all the same.
They
It's all
wear a
the-
suit.
he wore that coat, you
You
know.
wear big suit, big coat.
Yeah, he did have the suit and the hat sometimes. The
But,
end.
you know, it cannot compare to women's
It's
fashion.
Mhm.
classy and I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
I think my brain associates 40s and 50s women's fashion to like the modest like,
Right.
swing
Yeah.
style dresses, which I
Mhm.
adore. I still love. She just kind of broke the mold with this one.
And well done, I must say.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely worked.
Yeah. Well, we will see many of these people again. I think this might be our last Humphrey movie,
Humphrey,
so.
my love.
but we will see the guy that played Captain Louis again, Claude Rains. He will come back in Lawrence of Arabia,
Oh, nice.
so
Cool.
that's exciting. Ingrid Bergman, I don't think comes back ever, which is tragic.
Womp womp.
That's a big womp womp. Do we get another Sydney Greenstreet performance? I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
That's also
I
a
wonder-
wompity womp.
I wonder if the only person we see again from this entire thing is maybe we just see Claude Rains again. I'm fine with that though. I like him.
Mhm.
He's a man, a myth, a
Is
legend.
she a big monkey?
He's not too big of monkey, but he definitely monkey. He
I-
monkey.
I do
He
want
just monkey.
to also say, like, boy, like, what a fun character. He's so good. Like, he was, like, the most of the comedy, I feel like, in the
Yeah.
movie.
I
Like, he
think
just
for me
had-
he's the standout character.
Totally, yeah. Like, he
Mhm.
just had the best lines and the best delivery. And, like, oh, big fan.
That is my least vulnerable spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciated the
Yeah,
humor in this
just-
movie.
Yeah, he kind of stood out for sure. Just with his lines.
Great
Anyway.
charisma.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically just my review of the movie. Great charisma.
Great.
So well done to everybody who participated in Casablanca. We can officially award it
Even
the Movie
you, Howard
Overload
Koch.
podcast episode of the week.
Gotta push the applause button on the thing.
Oh, good job, everybody.
Yes.
Excellent.
That's gosh. Oh.
We're gonna have way too much fun
This is
with this.
maybe the only time we'll ever do this. Maybe we'll do it again
I
later.
love it.
I don't know. Yeah, that was a joke.
I'm
Maybe
gonna just start
We'll
telling
get some
really.
different ones. We'll get a boo one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll go to freesound.org and like get some fun things.
Yeah.
I
Sounds
just want to start making really bad jokes so we can use the drum sound.
good.
Yeah.
Mhm. If only we were that bad at making jokes.
Hmm.
True. I'm pretty good at it because I'm so witty and hilarious. Your face didn't even try to look amused.
Oh man.
It's fine.
I'm laughing.
I am laughing. Can you not see the smile on my
I'm not
face?
crying.
I
I'm
am
laughing.
Anyway.
I think we should probably do the sounding off and the
Yes,
going home.
yes. Time is running out.
So anyway, follow us on Instagram. Hate on Wizard of Oz with us
Yes.
at Movie Overload Pod. Follow us at Movie Overload _
On Twitter.
on Twitter.
Yep.
Wow, it's been a
it.
minute.
That's
I
the
mean, it's
one.
been a week.
Send us an email at
Yeah.
movieoverloadpod
Please
at
do.
gmail.com.
Fan mail, hate mail. We accept all the mail.
Go to the website that we have for links to things.
I guess.
Or on all of the podcast platforms. Leave us a review. Just
Yeah.
like absolutely shit on us, but give us 5 stars.
Go notice the difference in our new logo.
Yeah.
Spot the difference, and you get 5 stars.
It is.
Indeed.
I think I prefer it. I
Mhm.
feel better about it.
Indeed.
But yeah, we've done it.
We've done it.
So yeah, thanks for the things, guys. Whatever things those might be. especially if it's money that thing is, and you give it to us on Patreon. That would be delightful.
Booze.
Our mid tier is like the ASMR episodes, right? And then
I think so.
a
You can get that on
higher
everything.
end tier is the deep dive episodes. So
Mhm.
we got stuff in the works. It's all good. It's all happening. It's hip.
Give
It's
us your
fun.
money and in turn we'll change your life.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
We can promise this.
Life change guaranteed.
Even if that life change is just you having $10 less.
Yeah, I don't really know if it's better or worse, but it's a
It's
change.
definitely a change. We will affect some aspect of your life to some extent.
Woohoo.
I can promise that much.
Yeah.
Cool.
Indeed.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
that's the thing. Thanks for listening, guys. And as we say here at the end of each and every little tiny baby adorable episode of this cute little child known as the Movie Overload podcast.
I can think of like 3 right
I
now.
know, that's the thing. It's like
So-
I know I'm talking about how like great the writing and dialogue in this movie is, and I'm on the spot now. I didn't prepare this time, and I'm gonna forget.
Do the final line.
No, we already
Come
said that
on.
one, and that's a
That-
cheat.
No one said it.
No.
That-
yeah, you
did we
should say
not?
it. I
No
don't
one
think
said
so.
it.
I tried to say
I
it.
think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Good job.
I don't know.
Also, I like that one where he says, "Wait." Oh, do it. I thought you were ending it. I was like, "Don't end it yet."
I'm speaking.
When he's like, "Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but very soon and for the rest of your life."
Yeah. Ooh,
When
that's
he's
a good one.
talking about
Ooh.
her regretting her decision. I don't know, just
Yeah.
the
there were
way it
some
was
of 'em-
phrased was really nice.
Something like that. That was like, oh.
Oh. Yeah,
This
just
is
That was
like the whole
deep.
script.
it
so-
does
bro.
feel like it does feel written out,
Yeah.
but like that's okay 'cause
Right.
it works so
In a
well.
good way. Yeah. It
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
does feel kind of lyrical and poetic sometimes. And like,
It's lovely.
just like it just kind of hits you with it every once in a while. And I'm like, thank you. I like it.
Thank you for that.
I
Thank you.
like it. Like it does that, but it also has the like snappy, witty things in it. And I'm like, thank you. I like all of it.
Thank
I keep
you.
saying thank you, but I'm just like,
He is
I
grateful for this
I
movie.
like that there's just so many different flavors and they're all so well represented and it's good.
It works.
Good movie.
He big
That's our
movie.
conclusion. Thanks
Weird.
for
Anyway,
listening,
okay.
guys.
Yeah.
Please go watch it
Get
if you
outta here.
haven't already seen it.
Get out of here.
Outta here.
Please. Alrighty.
All right,
And
we love
we
that's
you.
the end.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Bye.